Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are listening to us from. Welcome to our Powerboost today. Today we've chosen a very familiar theme, especially if you've been traveling around or have occasion to be in public. I'm sure you have heard on several occasions that if you see something, say something. And so that's our theme today, except that what we want to do with that is have you begin to see it and make use of it in a more proactive way rather than reactive. And of course, the reactive way in which it has been used has been very effective and useful and necessary. And of course, it speaks to the times we're living in, where we have to pay very close attention and be very mindful of all of the circumstances and situations that we have to deal with. And of course, that's the reason we have these power boosts as well, so that you can emerge the power within and have the kind of day that allows you to be at peace and at ease. And so usually when we hear these announcements, you're being cautioned to beware. Beware that there might be danger or reason to pay even closer attention. However, there's so much else that we can take notice of, and I suspect that we do take notice of some of the things that I'm going to refer to this morning. The problem is, what can we do about it? Who would be listening or responding to anything that we might say about it? And so as a consequence, we say nothing, even though it may be cause for alarm. A good example is I come into the city daily, and when I get off the train, it's a very short walk to where I have to get to. And in that short distance, I am forced to walk around or step over or avoid things that something needs to be said about. And these things I'm talking about are people. They're laying in the streets. They are sometimes unconscious. Sometimes they are in some kind of a desperate situation. So you can't avoid seeing that. What do you say about it, or who do you say it to? And as we go about our daily business, what we want to be paying attention to are those things that we feel we can't do anything about. We feel helpless. We don't know what to say or to whom. And so you can say something to yourself about it, by the way. It does not necessarily, and that's what I mean by being proactive. You can say something to yourself because it's alarming or disturbing. So we want to break the silence on that. There's so many other examples. Not so long ago, coming into New York, the moment I got off the train, my eyes were burning because we had a city for many days, and that continues from that time onwards. Every now and then we have more of it. And what was burning my eyes was the smoke from the fires in Canada. That certainly gets your attention. How do you respond to that? What do you say and who do you say it to? And of course, these situations that we're dealing with at these times are numerous, but they've become so normalized that we don't say or do anything about it. And that's what I mean by making this theme that you're familiar with proactive, where you are responding in a way that's positive and empowering. And this is not a situation that can be avoided. What I'm referring to in terms of the wildfires, we're in the midst of a situation now in Hawaii. Hawaiians are still unable to account for so many of their loved ones. They're still counting the bodies that they can recover. And of course, the loss of life there is not only human life. We probably will never know the number of animals and birds and fish that have perished in those fires and in all the many other fires that we have. So we have this fallout because we're at a time and a place where that's the price we're paying for the lifestyle that we have chosen, or that in many cases we may not have, but is imposed upon us and we're adjusting to. I remember so often that I would be asked, especially about conditions in other places in the world. And the particular place that comes to mind is Haiti, where I was for quite a while. And folks would want to know, what's happening there. And we would be lamenting some of the challenges that people in places like Haiti and other such places are facing. But I realized from coming back and forth from the so-called poorest country in the Western Hemisphere to the richest country in the hemisphere, that they're really two sides of the same coin. So in Haiti, they are struggling to survive. And here, we are struggling to succeed. The cost is the same. The cost is unhappiness and depression and anxiety and fear and doubt. And Where that leaves us is at a place where we have to rely on our own resources. And of course, these power boosts are designed to do that, to have you become aware of your own resources and the power within today and every day. And so as you go about your lives today, whatever you can't help but notice and can't think of who to say it to or what to say, well, you start with you. And of course, what you might want to say based with a situation that you are faced with is, what difference can I make? And whatever small difference you can make will be very empowering. And so you need not feel overwhelmed by the wildfires and feel helpless. You need not just step over the homeless in the streets. You need not just ignore the traffic that you have to deal with at certain times of the day that are causing you stress and overwork. So whatever you encounter today and every day, ask yourself what difference you can make. And that will give you a say, even if the say is just with you, just raising your awareness will direct you to take any action that you can take. And if the only action is your awareness, that's a good start. There are so many examples of this. My bicycle route to the train station daily takes me along a very busy section of traffic, but that busyness is usually later in the day. I'm on my way very early in the morning, and that particular section of road is a racetrack. So folks who are on the road around 6 in the morning don't pay any attention to signs, don't pay any attention to lights, don't pay any attention to people on bicycles. And so that's something that you might see yourself, not necessarily the same thing. And there is a say you can have about that. You can suggest that the traffic folks pay attention. You can maybe even suggest some speed bumps might save a life. That life might even be your own or my own, in my case, which is why a letter was sent to them suggesting that they do something about the speeding at that time of day and late at night, because it will make a difference. But where the difference is being made, whether any action is taken on your suggestions, the difference is made with you. The difference is empowering you to see yourself as a full participant in every outcome that we're faced with, including the fires, including the heat that is overwhelming so many parts of the country. This comes down to being responsible and appreciating that you have the power to bring about positive change. And so if you see something, say something, not only as a reaction to a situation, but to be proactive in something that you see. You can prevent something from happening. You can, by saying something, first of all, bring about change in your own attitude, but in others around you. I can't think of all of the many examples that you will encounter today that will allow you to ask that question, what difference can I make? And so the meditation today is for you to, as always, empower yourself. Be the change that you want to see. And you will have that opportunity today and every day. And so wherever you're listening from, think of yourself as the change agent that you are. You are a change agent. What we're experiencing now is the result of choices and decisions that we have made in the past. And what we will experience tomorrow and in the future is a result of choices and decisions that you make now, that you make today. And that's why it is said that happiness is a daily decision. And so begin today to be that change agent. Begin today to emerge those powers within you that will give you that boost, that will give you that sense of meaning that is, for many of us, missing, where we feel small, where we feel neglected, where we feel ignored. And yes, there should be someone or some place that you can speak to that will address your concerns. But it's gotten to the point now where we're not expressing any concerns. And what has become the norm is a function of our own decision not to act. And so let's really have that theme become much more far-reaching. As I said earlier, let's make it proactive, not just reactive, because the life you save could be your own. And what we want to do every day is to make our lives meaningful. So begin now to have a say, lest there come a time when there's no one left to say. So stay with that thought. Empower yourself. You are the change agent. You are the difference maker. Everything that you're experiencing is your creation. And you have the power to change that. So feel that force within and make it a force for good. Make it a force for change. Make it a force for the better. Om Shanti.